All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about a massive shift happening right under our noses. See, we're moving away from just having connected devices to having truly autonomous systems. And we're going to uncover a really critical vulnerability at the very foundation of it all.
You know, this quote here from the CEO of the automation giant ABB, it just nails it. The whole conversation has changed. It's not just about connecting stuff to the internet anymore. Nope. Now it's all about making those things smart, making them autonomous. And the scale we're talking about, it's staggering. Over 21 billion connected devices out there in the world. And let's be clear, this isn't some niche tech for hobbyists. This is a global infrastructure, and it's growing like crazy. It's literally becoming the backbone of our modern world.
So, how in the world did we get here? Well, the journey for the Internet of Things, it didn't happen overnight. It came in waves.
It really all started with these big industrial systems that were totally walled off, totally isolated. Then, the first big shift, the connectivity wave, brought millions of things online for the first time. Think smart meters, fleets of vehicles, that kind of thing. After that, the platform wave hit, where cloud giants like AWS and Azure made it way easier to manage all these devices. And that brings us to right now, the AI wave. This is where AI is becoming the new remote control, the main way we actually use all this data.
But here's the thing you got to understand. All of this progress, all the connectivity, all the data, it's really just been prep work. It's like we've spent the last decade laying down the plumbing for the next great leap, a world that's run by autonomous systems.
So let's zoom in on a really critical piece of that plumbing. It's a technology that's absolutely essential for this autonomous future, even though I'd bet you've probably never even heard of it. It's called Narrowband IoT, or NB-IoT for short. The easiest way to picture it is like a special, slow lane on the cellular highway. It's not built for your phone to stream videos. No, it's built specifically for millions and millions of simple devices, like a sensor or a tracker, that just need to send tiny little packets of data while barely sipping any power. And the whole reason it exists is to do four things really, really well. First, super coverage, so it can reach a sensor buried in a basement or deep inside a factory. Second, super low power, so a device can just sit there and run for like 10 years on a single battery. Third, low cost, which makes it cheap enough to sprinkle thousands of these things everywhere. And finally, massive connections. It can handle tens of thousands of devices in one small area. It's pretty much the perfect recipe for a smart city or a huge farm full of sensors. So you've got this quiet, unassuming technology that's become a foundational layer for our automated future. It's the digital plumbing. But here's the big question. What if that plumbing is leaky? What if it's full of holes? Because a deep dive into academic research is showing that, well, it has some pretty serious security flaws.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and really look at the specific cracks that researchers are finding in this NB-IoT foundation.
See, an IoT system is built in layers, kind of like an onion. You have the physical sensors out in the world, then the network that connects them, then the application, and finally the business logic making decisions. And here's the alarming part. Researchers found vulnerabilities at every single one of those layers. We're talking about everything from shutting down the network with a denial of service attack to secretly intercepting and changing the data with a man-in-the-middle attack. This isn't just one little bug, it's a systemic problem.
So let's start at the ground level, physical attacks. Think about it. So many of these little sensors are just out there in public, easy to get to. An attacker could literally just walk up to one, tamper with it, and boom, they might have a backdoor to compromise an entire private network. In our future world, that could mean hijacking a whole city's traffic grid just by messing with one sensor on the side of the road.
Next up, you've got eavesdropping. Now, this is kind of clever and also really scary. An attacker can set up their own fake cell tower, essentially tricking all the nearby devices into connecting to it instead of the real network. Once that happens, they can just listen in on all the data, which is sometimes sent completely unencrypted. They could steal the commands being sent to a delivery drone or even a piece of medical equipment. Then you have the sledgehammer approach, just straight up jamming. An attacker floods the airwaves with so much radio noise that the real signals can't get through. Poof, all the devices in that area go offline. Imagine an entire fleet of smart farming robots becoming useless right in the middle of a critical harvest.
And finally, maybe the easiest threat of all, impersonation. So many of these devices are shipped out with weak default passwords, like admin or 1234, and nobody ever bothers to change them. This makes it ridiculously easy for an attacker to just guess the password, pretend to be a legitimate device, and start feeding the system totally false data. They could trick a power grid's autonomous system into shutting down an entire neighborhood.
Okay, so we've established the plumbing is definitely leaky. Big deal, right? Well, yeah, it is a huge deal, and it matters so much more now that we're entering the age of AI and true automation. That's because we are fundamentally changing what we're asking AI to do. We are moving from AI assistants, which are reactive, they wait for you to ask a question, to autonomous AI agents. And agents are totally different. They're proactive. They don't wait for a prompt. They orchestrate complex tasks and trigger real actions in the physical world.
And that right there is the absolute key. The second an AI can go from just recommending an action to actually executing it, the security stakes go through the roof. A vulnerability is no longer just a data leak, it becomes a potential real-world disaster. We're talking about a hacked smart grid shutting down a hospital, or compromised robots causing a catastrophe on a factory floor.
This new high-stakes reality means our whole approach to security has to change. We need to build strict guardrails that limit what an AI agent is even allowed to do. We need permissions that aren't just based on who a user is, but on the specific action the AI is trying to take. And we absolutely have to have end-to-end traceability for every single thing it does, with the power to explain, verify, and, if something goes wrong, roll back any action it takes.
And make no mistake, the market sees this future coming, and it is betting billions of dollars on it. This quote from Qualcomm's CFO says it all. The financial momentum behind this convergence of AI, computing, and connectivity is enormous. The race is on, and the revenues are going to be massive.
Which brings us to our final and most critical question. We are rushing headlong into building this incredible new autonomous world. But in all our excitement, are we overlooking the security of the invisible, foundational plumbing that it all rests on? Are we building our amazing future on a foundation of sand?